Good morning, and welcome back to our Food for Thought segment as we discussed sports betting picks and analysis for the NBA, college basketball, college football. There's one game tonight for the college football, and the NHL hockey. All right, so we are going to start off with the NBA, the National Basketball Association, just some games we're going to discuss, food for thought games. And just some things to think over for tonight's games, and some leans that I may be looking at for tonight. So the first game we're going to be looking at is Minnesota at Washington. Opening line 12.5 Minnesota, total 225. Right now the line is at 14, and the total is 224. That's where we currently stand. Now, about these two teams, in terms of the matchup, 7-3 last 10 head-to-head Washington, 2-8 against the spread, 8-2 last 10. Minnesota against other opposition, 6-4 last 10, 4-5-1 to the under last 10. 4-5-1 against the spread, and 6-4 to the over. Washington last 10, 2-8, 4-6 against the spread, 5-5 for the over/under last 10. So we look at Minnesota right now. They had a 3-game losing streak snapped at home against Memphis. So now they're on the road here in Washington. As for the Wizards, they have lost 6 games in a row. 6 to 7 games in a row they have lost. So they're really behind the 8 ball right now in terms of getting back on track. In their losses, they've been under in their losses 3 times under, and they've gone 3 times over. So 3-3 in their last 6 of the over/under. That's with the 6-game losing streak. So the way I would look here, I definitely will look Minnesota. Minnesota's a lean for sure. Definitely take Minnesota. That's the best position here. Minnesota. I'm just looking at what the first half number is, because the first half, Washington does not look good in the first half of these games. OKC knocked them out in the first half yesterday. Day before, that was Boston. I was on that game too. Boston beat them in the first half. So they're not a good first half team lately. First half spread here is 8.5. I would take Minnesota in the first half, 8.5. Till these guys can cover a first half spread, I would lean Minnesota in the first half. That's my play. I wouldn't talk you off -14, leaving the number for -14. I wouldn't talk you off of that. Definitely wouldn't talk you off of that. Although Minnesota hasn't covered that type of number on the road before, keep that in mind. But I wouldn't talk you off of that at the same time. But I would lean and suggest first half 8.5 to lay, if I was to make it a suggestion to you. In terms of the total, no play on the total. The total is a pass. I pass on the total. First half, I play. Now, in terms of the props, a good prop here, Anthony Edwards. Clearing number 37.5 points, rebounds, and assists. In his last 7 games, he's cleared this number pretty much 5 out of the 7 times. He's averaging 27.6 points, 4.7 rebounds, and 5.9 assists in his last 7 games. That's out of 5 of the last 7. That's what he's averaging. 5 of the last 7 games. Excuse me. So this is a good opportunity against a team that doesn't play any defense to stack up those points, rebounds, and assists. That's a good look. Anthony, the Ant-Man, good look for him. Now, if you're looking for other information on this game, on the Wizards side, of course, you'd have to look at Jordan Poole. He's a reliable one. If you're looking for prop action on the Washington Wizards side, Jordan Poole, I would take him. In this game, I would look at his points and assists. I'd say points and assists is a good one to take for Jordan Poole. I know his last 5, he's only gotten one points and assists because he missed 3 games. So the last game, the game before that, he had 24. He cleared it, and the game before that, he had 17 points and assists combined. And now in this game here, I expect him to surpass this number because Washington, they're in a situation where they're needing to win some games. So the desperation is gonna be a factor here to the point where Jordan Poole's gonna have to carry a lot of this load. So points and assists with him having the ball a lot in this game is an excellent option to look at. Definitely an excellent option. Another option you want to look at, I would look at Kyle Kuzma. Assists. 2.5 assists is the number for him. He's cleared this number 2 of the last 5 times. The last 2 games he's cleared it, so I expect him to clear it again. Rebounds. 5.5. He's cleared this number 4 of the last 5 times. That's another one to look at. So, let's see here. One to look at here would be points. I would look at either points and assists. He's got 17.5 points and assists. That's a clearing number. He's hit this number 2 of the last 5 times. That's one to look at. Another one you can look at is assists and rebounds. It's 8.5. Now he's cleared this number. He hasn't really cleared this number at all. 0 for 5. But in a game like this, him and Jordan Poole are going to have the ball a lot. It's like a 2-man game in Washington. So I would still take the points and assists over 8.5. It's worth a try. He hasn't hit it at all in the last 5 games, but it's worth a try here. I would definitely do that. Or if you don't want to do that, just take rebounds. Rebounds would probably be a safer bet. Rebounds or the assists, 2.5 assists. So those are some things to look at for the props. Next game we're going to look at, let's see, Golden State, Toronto. Golden State opened up at 4.5. Total is 225.5. Right now, we're looking at 5.5. If you like Golden State, get them at 5.5 before it gets to 6. Now, some books already have it at 6, but you can still catch the 5.5. If you can get it, shop around for the 5.5. Now, in this game, I like 2 plays. I see. Before we get to that, let me break down the matchup scenarios for this game. The last 10 games, Golden State, Toronto. Golden State has dominated. Or it's 5-5 even, last 10. 5-4-1 against the spread, Golden State, last 10 games. And 7-3 to the over. Now, Golden State overall last 10, 4-6 against other opposition. 3-7 against the spread, 4-6 to the under. Now they've gone under in the last 4 games. So Golden State playing a little bit of defense. Last 3 games have gone under. So they're playing a bit of defense. The first 2 games under, they're playing defense. Toronto, they haven't won a game forever. They've lost 9 straight games, 1-9 their last 10 games, 2-8 against the spread, 6-3 and 1 to the over. So yeah, so basically they've been playing over. Now I have 2 plays for this game. 2 leans, I should say, 2 leans. I'll see that right now, 2 leans. Would lean and suggest to you, and I'm going to get to the window with this more than likely. I would advise and suggest to you, take Golden State 5.5, like I mentioned to you earlier, before it gets to 6. Get that 5.5. Shop around and get that 5.5. And take first half 2.5 Golden State. I think Golden State gets off to a flying start in this game. I know Indiana gave him a rough time. Steph didn't play. Curry will play in this game in Toronto. He always has big games in Toronto. So definitely I would do 5.5 and then the first half Golden State. And I take a Steph Curry prop as well. Steph Curry does very well against the Raptors. He does have good games against them. Look for a Steph Curry prop. So Steph Curry, over 25.5 points. I like this one a lot. He's hit this one 2 of the last 5 games. However, he has played well against Toronto. Very, very well. Threes. Another one to look at. Over 4.5 3-pointers for Steph Curry. That's another good one. He's only hit this one once in the last 5 games. He did miss a few games. Didn't play the last 5. He missed 2 of the last 5. But I'd still take him here for over 4.5 3-pointers, Steph Curry. I like that one. Rebounds, 4.5 Steph Curry is the clearing number. He's hit this number 3 of the last 5 times. Let's see. Yeah, so those are the options for Steph Curry. Now, if you want to look deeper, if you don't want to do the points, maybe take a look at points and rebounds. Points and rebounds is a good one. I would look at the clearing number is 30.5. He's cleared this number 2 of the last 5 times. Remember, Steph Curry missed a few games in the last 5. Didn't play against Indiana. He missed some other games. And missed another game. So I'd still take this one. Points, rebounds is another one for Steph Curry. Or you did the points by itself, it's over 25.5 points. Take that one. Yeah, that's what I do for that. That's my play on that. That's my favorite. That's actually one of the props I would take. It's the Steph Curry one. On the Toronto side, you always gotta look at RJ Barrett. He's the leader of the offense. So for RJ Barrett, points, rebounds, and assists, I definitely take that over 31.5. He's cleared this number once in the last 5 games, but keep in mind this is a big marquee game for him, and in these marquee games, he usually shows up and has big games. So I would definitely look at the points, rebounds, and assists over 31.5. That's my favorite prop for him. I like that one a lot. Points, rebounds, and assists. Yes, I would definitely take that. Let's see. So points and rebounds is for Scotty Barnes. This is a good one for Scotty Barnes. Clearing number is 26.5. He's cleared this number 3 of the last 5 times. The last 2 games he's cleared the number. So points and rebounds for Scottie Barnes is another solid play. Now for the Golden State side, Wiggins. Let's see for Andrew Wiggins. I would go with the points and assists. Points and assists, the clearing number is 19.5. I know he's only cleared this number once. However, I know the last 5 games he missed a few games for personal reasons. But against Toronto, he's done well. He's been pretty efficient against Toronto. So definitely, for Wiggins, best one's points and assists over 19.5. Very achievable. You can achieve that. So that's the way I would look for that game. Those are my leans. Like I said, this afternoon I'll be back here to give you my final picks and everything. Next one, Detroit at New York. Opening number 7.5 till 225.5. Right now we're seeing -8, and we are seeing 223 right now. 223 is the current number right now that we're seeing here. So for that game, we'll look at the matchup. Detroit, New York. The last 10 games between these two teams. 9-1 last 10, New York. 5-5 against the spread. 7-3 to the over. They have played twice already. First game in Detroit, November 1st. New York was a 6.5 point favorite, and the total was 219. The Knicks won 128-98, covered the 6.5, and went over the total. Second game following month in New York. Knicks an 8-point favorite. The total then was 222. Detroit covered and won in New York, 120-111. Knicks has had a big game last night. They just played. Pistons, on the other hand, 8-2 last 10, 6-4 against the spread, 6-4 to the over. They played, the last game was at home against Toronto, covered and won. Pistons are playing pretty well. New York beat up Milwaukee, -5 covered. 5-5 last 10 to the over-under. 5-5 against the spread, New York. I would bet over. I like the over in this matchup. The first 2 meetings have gone over, and I don't see anything different in this game. I think this goes over the total of 223. Definitely like the over. That's a lean. I lean to the over, and I lean to the Pistons. I think the Pistons covered this spread. They can cover they've covered it last time. Same scenario. They covered at 8. I think they do the same thing again. They cover the 8. Which is a lean. And I like the over. Like I said, over 223. Those are my leans. Like I said, I'll be back in the afternoon to give my final analysis, but that's where I'm heading towards. I like that. Next game. Memphis at Houston. This line opened up -3 Houston. Total 235. Right now the line is at -2. It's gone down a point. And the over-under is 236. That's 236 right now. I believe they played 3 times, if I'm not mistaken, Memphis and Houston. I'll double check that. We'll look at the head-to-head. I think they played twice. Excuse me. They played 2 times. So head-to-head 5-5. Last 10, 3-6-1 against the spread. Houston and 6-3-1 to the over in this series. First matchup was October 25th in Houston. Houston was a 3.5 point favorite. The over-under was 226. Houston won 128-108 and went over 226. Second game was 4 days ago on January 9th in Memphis. Houston was a Memphis was a 2.5 point favorite. The total was 234. This one was a push, and it was 119, 115 Houston. Houston covered. So now it's got up now. So let's look at this again. Yeah, I definitely like the over. I like the over in this game. I think this goes over again. I don't think anything changes from the last 4 days, from the last meeting to this meeting. So I like the over in this game. No opinion on the side. I just like and lean towards the over. Over the 236. 236. I like the over. So I like that. Let's go to the props here. We'll do the props for Detroit and New York. I forgot to get to that. I will get to that. Actually, let's do the Houston props. Houston and Memphis. Let's see what we got here for this one. Houston, Memphis. I don't think anything's coming up for that. Let me see. I'll try again. Let's try it again. Okay, there we go. Houston, Memphis. So we're going to look at, we look at John Morant. Look at Ja. We'll look at Ja's points. Points for Ja, 22.5 points for the prop. He's only hit this number once in his last 5. Remember, he missed a few games. That's the reason why you're seeing it hit it once. Last meeting, though, he got 12 points. I expect him to have a big game against Memphis. Memphis usually plays well. Against Houston, he usually has big games against Houston. So I expect him to have a big game here. So I would take John Morant over 22.5 points. I like that one. For the Rockets side, Fred VanVleet. I would look at over 6.5 assists, Fred VanVleet. He's hit this number twice in his last 5 games. I know he's been a bit of a slump. But against Memphis, he has a decent performance. He does well. So I look for him to get more involved in the playmaking department to get some guys to rock. So I look at the over 6.5. I like that one, especially from the 3-point line. Over 2.5 is VanVleet. He has hit this number 2 in the last 5 games. He came close, not this game, but the game before. He had 2 3-pointers. So I expect him to clear this number in tonight's game. I like that one a lot. So this game, I like the points and assists for Fred VanVleet. This is the best one. Points and assists. The clear number is 23.5. He's cleared this number 2 of the last 5 times, but the last 2 games, Fred VanVleet is coming on strong. He's sort of back to his old self, but you're seeing some signs that he's heading in that direction, the right direction. So I would lean and I would recommend points and rebounds. Points and assists, 23.5, Fred VanVleet. That's the one I would recommend you taking. Like that one. Dillon Brooks. Assists over 1.5. He usually gets about 3 out of the 5. He usually hits those a lot. Rebounds, clearing number 3.5. He's cleared this number 3 of the last 5 times. Yeah, so I would do those. Those are the plays I recommend for Dillon Brooks. Yeah, those are the plays I like. I would do that. Now for Detroit, New York, the Knicks and the Pistons. Look at some props here. Pistons. Let's see. Cade Cunningham. We always talk about him. Cade Cunningham. Of course, points, rebounds, and assists. 40.5. He's cleared this number for the last 5 games. He's come on strong, so I definitely go back to that again. So points, rebounds, and assists. Cade Cunningham's the best one. Definitely like that one. Jalen Brunson. Let's see for Brunson. Definitely would do the points, rebounds, and assists for Brunson. Brunson's done well here. 36.5 declaring number. He's hit this number twice, actually. But I expect him to have a big game and clear this number tonight. He had 55, cleared that yesterday, in yesterday's matchup against Milwaukee. So I expect him to continue where he left off and do well in that department. So yes, I like that one for Brunson. Cat, Karl Anthony Towns. We see here. Let's see, for Anthony Towns. We're looking at over 1.5 threes. That's a good number. He's cleared this number 3 of the last 5 times. That's one good look. Rebounds. Cat, 13.5 boards is the clearing number. He's hit this number 3 of the last 5 times. So definitely I would do Cat rebounds. That's a good one. Or you can do points and rebounds for Cat. 30.5 is the clearing number. He's cleared this number 3 of the last 5 times, including the last game yesterday against Milwaukee. So either one of those I would do. I'll let you know this afternoon my best bets, which one I'm going to take. I haven't decided yet, but it will be on my radar. One of those. Next game we're going to look at for the NBA, Miami at the Clippers. This game opened at 5.5. Total 216.5. Right now we're seeing 6 across the board, and we're looking at 215.5. That's what we're looking at right now. So Miami and the Clippers, we'll look in here. We'll look at the history. Now this is a makeup game for the postponement. They postponed this game before due to the wildfires in California. So this is a makeup game for that. Head to head, 7-3 against the spread. 7-3 Clippers in the series. 2-8 against the spread. Clippers last 10, 7-3 to the over. This is in the series. Against other competition, Miami last 10, 6-4. Against the spread, 5-5. Over under 5-5. So this is the 5th game of the road trip, and they have the Lakers on Wednesday. So far, 3-1 on the road trip, which is very good. 3-1, and they've gone under 3 straight times during this win streak. So the Pistons definitely playing some. They're carrying their defense on the road, which is a good sign. I like that. So I'm sorry, Miami's carrying their defense on the road. Miami, I said Pistons. The Miami Heat. Clippers, 5-5 last 10, 5-5 against the spread, 3-7 to the under. So yes, in this game here, I definitely like the under 214.5. Both teams right now, their last 10 games, both teams are trending to the under. So I like the under in this game. Under 2 That's what I would lean. I would lean to the under. 214.5. That's my lean to the under. Sides, no opinion on the sides, none whatsoever. I just like the under in this game. That's my play. Any prop bets? It's hard to say. No prop bets for this game, just due to what's going on. And with the California wildfires, especially in that area, hard to say for prop bets who's reliable, because you're in that area now. You have to be there for a few days. Your mindset, it's tough to have a focused mindset with what's going on outside the arena with the wildfires. So I would definitely do that for sure. I would definitely look at the under. That's the only way I would look. I would look at the under in this game. That's it. Under is the way to look in this game for sure. Definitely the under. And then the next game I would look at here. San Antonio and the Clippers. San Antonio and the Lakers in LA. This game is -3, opening number. Total 224. Right now, it's -4. Total 220.5. That's what I look at. That's the number looking at now. Same thing with this game. I don't have an opinion on this game, just due to what's going on in LA with the wildfires. So in terms of the props, no opinion on the props. For the game itself, we'll go over the review. 8-2 last 10, 4-6 against the spread Lakers, 4-5-1 to the under in this series. Lakers have controlled the series. They've already played 2 games already in San Antonio. First game in San Antonio, November 15th. Lakers are 2.5-point favorites. They did cover 120-115 over 226. Second game, November 27th in San Antonio. Lakers are -2. And the total was 228. This one went under 228 and was 119-101. Yeah, so this one, no opinion on this game at all. No opinion. If I had to take a guess, I would lean under 220, but there's no opinion on this game at all. And on the props, hard to say because of what's going on with the California wildfires. Hard to gauge and get a proper assessment of the mindset of these teams. How's the mindset? So it's very difficult to say. That's that for the NBA. Nothing else I can say. Nothing else. Let's see, for hockey. 3 games in hockey tonight. So first game, Florida at Philadelphia. This game is 6. The total is 6. Florida favored. In terms of the matchup, head-to-head 6-4. Last 10 Florida, 6-4 to the over. They've already played 2 times already. First game is in Florida. The total is 5.5. It went over 4-3. Second game, December 5th in Philadelphia, 7-5. Total was 6. It went over the total. So, and the season series is split. It's been 1-1 so far head-to-head. Florida, last 10, 5-4-1. The over-under, 2-7-1 to the under. Florida, last 10. Philadelphia, last 10, 4-5-1. And 4-5-1 to the under. This game here, I would lean to the over, just based on the history of just based on the first 2 games of the series. Even though these teams are playing to the under, I'd still lean to the over. Over 6 goals. That's my take on that one. Lean that way. Second game, as for a winner, who's going to win this game? No play on that. Just lean to the over. No play on the winner. Next game, Calgary, Chicago. Total 6. Calgary favored. Head-to-head, they played twice already. Calgary, first game October 15th in Calgary, 3-1. And the over-under was 6.5. Second game December 21st last month game in Calgary again. Total was 5.5. It went over, and Calgary won 6-4. Now Calgary last 10, 5-3-2 last 10, 3-7 to the under. Chicago last 10, 2-8, 7-1-2 to the over. So Chicago's lost their last two. Calgary have won their last two games. This one's in Chicago. And this is a 5.5. I think Calgary's favored. I would take Chicago in this game. I take Chicago on the puck line plus 1.5 goals. I like Chicago here. I think Chicago's at home. They're going to exact some revenge. Calgary. I'll take Chicago up on the puck line. That's my play. And I would lean to the, let's see, for the total, I would lean to the, at 6, I lean to the over 6 goals. That's my lean there. And puck line Chicago plus 1.5. Next game, LA versus Edmonton. Total 5.5. That's the total, 5.5. Edmonton favored. Last 10 games, head to head, 7-3 Edmonton, 5-5 to the under. They've already played once already. And the first game was in LA. And LA won 4-3 in overtime. And it went over 5.5. Right now, LA 6-2-2, last 10, 3-7 to the under. Edmonton last 10, 7-2-1, 4-6 to the under. In this game here, I would lean to the under. Both teams are trending to the under. Their style of plays to the under. LA on a road trip, on a 4-game road trip, so far they are playing to the under as well. So I see that continuing. This defensive style of hockey that LA is playing, that will continue to the under. So I like the under 5.5 goals in that game. Like that one a lot. So you're finished for the hockey. For the NFL, Minnesota versus the Rams open up at 1.5, total 47.5. Right now we're looking at 2.5. The total's at 47.5, but we're seeing some 48s. This game here, for this one here, I lean to Minnesota on the money line. And let's see. And I lean to the Minnesota money line, and I take that's it. Like Minnesota money line for now. Nothing else on the total or the side. I'll give you my final take on that this afternoon when I give you my best bets, but nothing so far for that. Just Minnesota money line for now. That's my take on that. College basketball, we'll do that. We'll do some picks this afternoon for college basketball in my pick segment. For the we're going to go over that this afternoon. College basketball this afternoon. I'll give you my pick segment from my final picks, where we'll go over that college basketball. So that's it for now. I'll be back this afternoon, like I said, and I'll give you my final picks and analysis for the NFL games tonight, NBA, hockey, and college basketball. I'll give you some final picks. Okay, until then, mull over and think over what we talked about this morning in our half-hour segment. Think over what we talked about and what we went over. Think about it. Go over this. Have that food for thought in what we discussed, and we'll be back this afternoon, and I'll let you know what I'm going to be picking. Until then, stay true to yourself, stay blessed, stay humble, be grateful. Peace. Have a good one.